What up, my friends out there? Welcome to Gamers with Games. So today we're talking about video game rage. Now, video game rage particularly is kind of interesting because this is probably the most rampant type of rage that's out there. I know people talk about road rage, people talk about relationship rage and all kinds of things, but especially now these days in the modern era, there's a lot of people that are really getting frustrated and really super annoyed and kind of like, angry over playing their particular video games. And it's for a variety of different reasons. Let's say, for example, you're playing your games online, over Xbox Live or PSN. Or even if you're playing a game solo, like if you're playing, for example, something like Final Fantasy 13, and you hit that big brick wall where you actually have to deal with a whole, grouping of, really tough enemies and, a ridiculous type of boss character that requires you to grind constantly. And no matter how much you grind and try to level up your characters through the Crystarium, all of a sudden you just get destroyed by this boss. It causes you to rage and maybe chuck your controller at your TV screen or your PC, if you're actually playing on PC, and then causing you to break your television screen that costs a pretty penny and such. Video game rage is just, something that, you have total and complete control over, and you don't even kind of realize it. Because not only do different things in our body, like chemicals, chemical imbalances and different stuff like that, hormones or whatever, depending on if you're a male or female, it's all within our bodies and is really based on how well we take care of our bodies. If we eat right, we exercise, we're constantly surrounding ourselves with positive energy and stuff. Video game rage could be something that could be easily kind of remedied. Now, for the most part, especially if a lot of you guys out there are competitive gamers, let's say you go to a lot of tournaments for Smash Brothers or for Street Fighter, maybe for Marvel, because you know how hype Marvel can get and such. But a lot of you guys, most of the time, since you're playing your game so much, for constantly hours on end and probably surrounding yourself maybe with not a lot of positive energy and stuff, every little thing, especially if you can't execute a move right, or if you don't win a certain matchup that you should have won, or maybe you feel like the lag is just too much online when you're trying to play your games over the internet. Every little thing could bother you and such. Now, the way that you remedy this, like I said before, constantly surround yourself with positive energy, eat right, sleep right, take care of your body overall. Sometimes even doing small little things could be like a big benefactor to you overall in your happiness and kind of prevents you and kind of helps you to not let small little things get to you so much and cause you just to rage constantly all the time. Now, let's be real for a second. Having a little bit of rage here and there, depending on the situation, is always a little bit therapeutic. Sometimes it can be a little bit cathartic. Especially if you're playing at such a top level of a particular game that's competitive. Sometimes a little bit of rage could go a long way. But you don't want to constantly surround yourself or constantly be in that kind of crappy mood where you're mad all the time. You get that scruffiness in your, your beard or your kind of your forehead. Your brows are always kind of like this. You look like a really mean anime character constantly all the time and such. You gotta help yourself a little bit just to try to, ease back a little bit and not let video game rage completely just dominate your life and cause you to go into what's called a downward spiral. You want to be able to do little things that while you're going like this, you strongly and surely start to turn things a little bit and start to be on the up and up. Because let's be real also for a second. Being upset and having rage just because you're losing a game, just because things aren't going your way, you're not making your executions, you're not hitting those power weapons, you're not getting the headshots and stuff, being upset and mad about it constantly all the time is not going to better your skills overall. You have to be able to kind of take a step back, take a few deep breaths, and get right back in there and much more focused in order to better your skills, to come out on top, or to make that comeback which you're actually kind of primed up to actually do. So, overall, recap real quickly. Try not to let games rage you out too much. Don't break your TVs with your controller. Don't rage at games too much, especially if they're not, not so much of a big deal. Especially if you're playing solo. It really sucks to kind of play a game solo when you're just kind of trying to be isolated. You don't want to deal with nothing in your life right now. You're just trying to sit down and just play a game and just get upset at the game. That's all of a sudden becomes the source of your stress. You never want that to be the case. Things can be frustrating. Again, I play a lot of RPGs. I play a lot of Final Fantasy. There's grinding all over the place, especially in Final Fantasy 14 Online. I'm just saying. But you never want a game to kind of really kind of cause you to be angry all the time, okay? Especially if you're playing solo. Take a step back, do little things in your life that's going to help you kind of reground yourself and pick up your happiness so little things out there in your video games or in life don't bother you as much. That's all I got, guys. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me about a time where you guys actually raged so hard at a video game, or a time where you actually kind of reseated yourself and actually really grounded yourself and kind of focus your ability to not let the rage kind of overcome you and turn to the Incredible Hulk. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.